up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, I hope you're loving yourself and loving who you're with. Thank you so much for stopping in and talking with me today about some movies. Guys, today we're talking about a movie directed by Mr. Dan Curtis from 1976. This stars a who's who, right? This has Karen Black. This has got Oliver Reed. This has got Betty Davis and Burgess Meredith. I mean, get out of town, right? That is a fantastic cast. This is Burnt Offerings. Now, before we get into this haunted house, before we step through the threshold, hit that like and subscribe button for me, because this is one of the better haunted house films from the late 70s. I really enjoyed this. Oliver Reed is fantastic. Karen Black is great. I mean, you may know her from the Trilogy of Terror and other things. Mainly, I know her from Trilogy of Terror, but she's fantastic in this. She has such a unique look to where she can be super sexy or she can be utterly creepy. And she pulls them both off in this. She pulls off the sexy young wife to Oliver Reed, who is, going through some things. They move into this house. The house itself, if I'm renting a house for the summer, and someone tells me, oh, well, it's going to be $900, and I'm thinking $900 a week or whatever, and they're like, no, $900 for the whole summer. I'm going to be like, what is wrong with this place? Why is it so cheap? But then you find out there's like a sister and a brother living there, and then apparently there's an older lady living there, so it's not like they get the house to themselves kind of thing. But what you don't realize is that this house is basically feeding off of their negative energy, feeding off of just their energy in general, their life force, their essence. And so, all these different things start happening, like doors slamming, the house starts influencing their moods and things. Like Oliver Reed is in the pool with his son, and there's like an incident there. And so the way that this is crafted by Dan Curtis is, it's not the supernatural boo scary where there's special effects and there's all kinds of, different, I guess, puppetry and all that kind of stuff. There's not really any of that. This is all basically like psychological, supernatural horror. It's like, are they losing their minds, or is this house really feeding on them kind of thing? And then, as the story progresses, we see, different things happening, different character interactions that make you think, okay, well, maybe they are just losing their minds. But then as we get farther into the story, other things start to be revealed. And I think that this, like I said, one of the better haunted house films, because it doesn't rely on supernatural spooks. It relies on, okay, there's a door slammed. Okay, it's making me angry. There's a mysterious lady living upstairs that the wife won't let the husband meet, kind of thing. And so I really thought that the way this story was told, it was subtle yet terrifying, where it left enough up to the imagination that you could, I guess, generate your own fear in your head. And when I say generate your own fear in your head, I mean you can basically, like, your interpretation of the scene, and you can make it as suspenseful or climactic as you want, kind of thing. When you see what's going on screen, they let you decide, man, this is unsettling, or man, this doesn't seem right. This is creepy, And so I dug that about the film. I loved the storytelling aspect of it, and the way that it didn't rely on cheap scares. It was well written, well performed. I mean, Oliver Reed he's a legend in and of himself. And his chemistry with Karen Black as his young wife, and even his son, the kid who played his son, I didn't write his name down, but he was good. Like, his acting, it was on par with the kid from Cujo, right? When that dog's attacking them in that car, and the kid's screaming, and he's crying, and all that kind of stuff, like, I felt bad for that kid because it felt like he was genuinely being traumatized in that film. And this kind of the same way with this, because the kid in this film is such a good little actor that when there's issues between him and Oliver Reed or him and his mother, like his acting is better than the adults' acting. I feel like this kid was traumatized probably making this film. I don't know if he even made any more movies after this. But just the way that, he gets manhandled by Oliver Reed, and then he gets, locked in places and scared and all these kind of things. And this kid just nailed it. He was absolutely fantastic. But it didn't hurt that he is also on screen with such a legend as Oliver Reed, where I'm sure between takes, Oliver Reed took him aside and was like, hey, man, listen, I'm going to be rough with you. I need you to, or he took him aside and he was like, hey, this is nothing personal. We just got to get this scene done. You just, pretend, I feel like he instilled some confidence in the young man. I feel like he probably instilled some, not only confidence, but gave him some acting pointers, things like that. It never hurts to have someone as talented and as Oliver Reed to be your mentor, right? And I feel like that's probably what happened because that kid was so incredibly gifted in this film. Burgess Meredith, I have only seen him play Mickey from Rocky and the Penguin, right? I've never really seen him in a whole lot of things, and he plays kind of a flamboyant, wheelchair-bound dude in this. And he's not in it for long, but his performance is excellent. Like, he was a phenomenal actor back in his day. And I think that Burnt Offerings just showcased all of these people's acting ability. Everyone in here, Dan Curtis brought out the best in all of them. He brought out the best in the story. This, like I said at the beginning, one of the best haunted house films you can see. It's up there with The Changeling and things like that. So if you want to check it out, guys, which, again, I highly recommend you do. This is streaming on Tubi, and it's streaming on MGM+. I know I've been watching a lot of stuff on MGM+ lately. But hey, sometimes that's where the cinematic adventures takes you. It takes you to one streamer, and you get stuck there for a little while. But yeah, guys, this is worth it. Check it out if you get a chance. Thanks so much for hanging out and talking with me about Burnt Offerings for just a little while. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. And as always, my friends, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.